Advaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. All right, so back to our Janma Karma Cha Devi. Okay, who knows this verse by now?
Wait, the Hindi words?
The Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam verse, you know?
No.
Okay.
Mataji, I only know the first line.
Okay, tell me the first one.
Janma karma cha me divyam yo me no.
Evam yo
Veti tatvata taktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjana.
Very good. So this is your homework. All of you have to memorize this verse. Okay. I'm going to ask next time. See, the whole advent of Sri Krishna that we are doing right now is revolving around this verse. So we need to know this verse. Okay.
Mataji,
Yes.
Like a printout so we can...
I will send on the WhatsApp group. Okay. You ask your mom to get you a printout of it.
Okay.
All right. Sesha, you had something to say?
What's the name of the verse?
It's 4.9. I'll send it on the WhatsApp group. You'll be able to, you'll see it.
Is a verse even called 4.9?
It's verse from Bhagavad Gita, right?
Wait, the Bhagavad Gita book?
Yeah, the book.
Oh, Bhagavad Gita as it is?
Exactly. You got it.
We have it.
Yes. So you have it, then you will see this verse is there. It's 4.9, chapter 4, verse number 9. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll still send the verse on the group and you can take a printout and memorize it. I'm going to ask next time. Okay?
Okay, Mataji.
All right. So now back to where we were. So far, what did we do? We were doing how the activities and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are divine. Janma karma cha me divyam. That's what it says. Okay. So we did the Jan part, how Krishna appeared on this planet Earth and how his appearance was extraordinary. It was not like normal birth of a human being, and how it was so divine, it was so transcendental. So we covered that part. Now we were doing the activities, karma, how the activities of the Supreme Lord are divine, and we did the pastimes in Vrindavan. Today we are going to do the pastimes in Mathura. Okay. So now, if you remember, from Vrindavan we finished when we saw that Krishna was taken, Krishna and Balram both were taken to Mathura by Akrura. Akrura came and he asked Krishna and Balram to join him in Mathura, and he convinced Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya to let him go because they were very, very sad on the very thought of Krishna leaving Vrindavan and leaving them and going. So were all the gopis. But it was decided that Akrura is going to lead with Krishna and Balram. The cowherd girls stayed back, but few of the cowherd boys and Nanda Baba followed Akrura and Krishna Balram. So now they've reached Mathura. Okay. Now when they reached Mathura, when they entered the premises, Akrura asked Krishna and Balram to go to his house. But Krishna and Balram asked him to leave, because they said we'll just go sightseeing right now. We would want to wander around and see how Mathura is. And he did promise Akrura that he is going to visit his house, but later. So now Akrura left. He was not very, very happy about the fact, but then he agreed that the Lord is going to. He was satisfied by the fact that Lord had promised him to visit his house. So with a heavy heart, he left, but then he had to go and give the news to Kamsa anyway that Krishna and Balram had come with him. So now Krishna and Balram, when they were walking in the streets of Mathura, everybody had their eyes on them. They were so beautiful. They were so magnificent. They were so amazing. They had never seen anybody like that. The citizens of Mathura were totally in awe. And in fact, male, female, didn't matter. They were on the terrace of their house and they were just, gazing at Krishna Balram's beauty. They were in total awe. They had never seen anything like that. So anyway, when they were roaming around like that in Mathura, checking around the city, as you say, they were just seeing what's going on. There they came across a washerman. This washerman, he was washing the clothes and he had a bundle of new clothes which he was drying and folding and keeping it for Kamsa. So Krishna just asked him that would he give some of very opulent clothes from there to him. Krishna knew everything that they belonged to Kamsa, but he was playing innocent and he just asked him that would you kindly give these clothes to me and Balram. Washerman was so agitated by this sentence itself that he started accusing Krishna and Balram that how dare you ask for clothes of our king? You do not have the right. You are a cowherd boy. You stay in your limits. Don't cross your limits and whatnot. He went on and on and on. Why was it so? Even though Krishna and Balram were right in front of the washerman, but this was all due to the bad association that the washerman had with Kamsa, that he totally lost it. And it was not difficult. He could have easily pleased the Lord. He just had to give some clothes. Those clothes didn't even belong to him. But it was his misfortune, his bad luck, and the effect of the bad association. So from this pastime, what do we learn? That association is everything. In regard to association, I'll tell you a very small pastime. It's wonderful. So it so happened one time, Narad Muni went to Lord Vishnu. Okay. And Narad Muni was hearing this everywhere, that association is everything. And he was like, I need to know what exactly does association do. So he went to Lord Vishnu and he told Lord Vishnu that I have a question, my Lord, can you please satisfy my query? So the Lord said, okay, what is it? So he said, I want to know, everybody talks about this association thing. What exactly does this association do? So the Lord told him, okay, to answer this question, you have to do me a favor first. So then he asked him, okay, what is it? So then the Lord showed him on the planet Earth. He said, in this material world, in this particular place, there is this little worm. Can you please go and ask that worm this same question? And Narad Muni was wondering, seriously, what am I supposed to ask the worm? But because the Lord had asked him to do so, he thought, okay, let me go and try. Now he went up to that little worm and he asked him, hey, worm, little dude, what is the effect of association? Can you please tell me? And you know what happened? The worm turned upside down, rolled, and died. Now Narad Muni was devastated. He was like, oh my God, I killed a living entity. He went back to the Lord very sad and morose. And he said, what did you make me do, my Lord? Now I have, I get the sinful reaction of killing a worm. So the Lord said, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Then this Narad Muni said, but this, he was not happy. He was very sad. So then the Lord said, but do you need the answer to that question? He said, yes, I do. So he said, okay, you have to do one more thing for me. He said, what? He said, there is this little calf, newborn calf, right there. He showed him the place and he said, can you go and ask the same question to that calf? Narad Muni hesitated. He said, oh my God, already the worm is killed. What if the calf dies? I am going to get karma of killing a cow, go hatya pap. He was very, very scared. So he told Lord, can I not do this, please? So the Lord said, no, if you want the answer to your question, you have to do it. He said, okay. Now he went and he asked the calf that, my dear calf, can you tell me what is the effect of association? And guess what? The calf also fell on the ground, turned and died. Now Narad Muni was totally devastated. He was like, oh my God, now I get karma of Go Hatya. And he was not able to, he was just not able to digest the fact that because of him, a little calf died. He went up to the Lord and he was very sad and very morose. The Lord said, what happened? He said, my Lord, you know everything. What did you make me do? Now, Go Hatya, this is too much. And I don't know what is my future going to be? So the Lord said, don't worry about it, dear Narad. You go and you ask the same question to this newborn baby of a human being. Now Narad Muni was like, oh my God. He was like, I'm not doing this. So the Lord said, no, you will have to if you want the answer to this question. So then he went to that little baby, and he asked him that, can you tell me what is the effect of the association? And the baby started talking. The baby said, yes, my dear Narada, I am the effect of that association. So Narad Muni said, what does that mean? So he said, you remember that worm who you asked the question? I was that worm. But because I got your association, see, I got the birth of a cow in a cow community. It's what a great fortune I had. And then again, by your mercy, you came to me and I got your association. And from cow, I became a human child only because of your association, my dear Narad Muni. Now I cannot even imagine, there is no doubt about it, that as a human child, now that I'm getting your association, I am sure I'll make it back to Godhead after this lifetime. So Narad Muni then understood that this is what association does. You know, we know that we've heard of that phrase that lava matra sadhu sang sarv siddhi hoy, even for a moment's association. If you get the, even for a moment, you get the association of a sadhu, then you're delivered. So this is what association can do to you. But unfortunately, this washerman had bad association of Kamsa. And because of that, even though the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Sri Krishna and Sri Balram were present right in front of him, what did he do? He totally ignored the fact that the Supreme Lord was present. In fact, he even accused them. So we can understand what is going to happen. The Lord got really angry and he struck him with the upper portion of his hand, and he separated his head from his body just by using his hand. So then everybody, all the other washermen who were there, they really got scared and they left, leaving all the clothing behind. Then Sri Krishna and Sri Balram, they took the possession of those clothings and they dressed themselves accordingly, you know, however they wanted to, of their own choice. And then they offered the rest of the clothes to the other cowherd boys who were following them. Remember, I told you that the other cowherd boys and Anbaba were also following them. So some of their friends were there and they offered those clothings to those cowherd boys. And they also dressed up very well. So in this way, this was the first association they had of the washerman, the first interaction. Now moving forward, they went to, so they were again strolling in the streets, and then they met a tailor by the name of Sudama. This tailor, when he saw Krishna and Balram, he fell at their lotus feet and he offered everything that he had in his shop to offer to dressed them up well. In fact, he personally dressed them up, with accessories and everything the tailors can do. They can make nice belts, nice helmets, nice crowns, nice uttriyam. They have everything that they were wearing nice clothes anyway. And now he had the good fortune to offer the best what he had. Now, and what happened to this tailor after the Lord left? I mean, after he left this, because he got the mercy from the Lord, he actually got the Sarupya Mukti. He got that liberation. Now, who was this tailor? Actually, one time it so happened that in Treta Yuga, when Lord Ram appeared, and when he was, we know the whole pastime of Lord Ram getting married to Mother Sita. For that, he had to break the bow, and we know the entire pastime. Now, when he was getting married, there was this one particular tailor there in Treta Yuga, who actually stitched the wedding outfit for Lord Ram. Remember, Lord Ram and Lakshman. Lord Ram and Lord Ram and Lakshman were with Vishwamitra Muni when they came to Ayodhya, when they met Janak Maharaj, and when they took the part in the Swamvar where they had to break the bow. And this all happened. So they were not coming directly from their palace, so they didn't have good clothes or whatever. So this particular tailor there, he actually stitched the wedding outfit for Lord Ram and Lakshman and Bharat and Shatrughan, everyone. So after he broke the bow, it was decided that he's going to get married to Mother Sita. And then again, Mother Sita had 3 more sisters, all these 4 brothers ended up getting married to these 4 sisters, right? So all these outfits were stitched by this tailor. But this tailor didn't get a chance to dress them up. When he saw Lord Ram and his brothers wearing the outfit that he had sewed for them, he had a strong desire that I wish I could dress them up. He was very happy to make the outfit, but then he really wanted to dress them up with his own hands. You know how it is. I don't know if you've experienced this, but if any of you have deities or you have seen your parents worshipping the deities or dressing the deities, the person who stitches the outfit knows exactly how to put on the outfit, because he has this image in his mind when he is making the outfit, that this part of the outfit is going to look good on the Lord, at this part of his body and stuff like that. So this tailor was happy to see the Lord wearing the outfit that he had, the wedding outfit that he had stitched for Lord Ram. But at the same time, he had a very strong desire that, how I wish I could dress him up. Now, Lord is very merciful. He notices everything. He has a record of everything. So because he desired so, Lord fulfilled the desire, even though it took a while. It happened when the Lord came as Lord Krishna himself in the Dwapar Yuga, and though he had desired in Treta Yuga, but he fulfilled his desire. This is how merciful the Lord is. It can take some time, but he will fulfill your desire. So this tailor was the same tailor who actually was more than willing to give whatever and offer whatever he had to so the supreme lordships, Lord Krishna and Lord Balram. So now, and yes, the effect of this was, the result of this was that he got Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya Mukti is where you get the same features, same roop as the Lord. Okay, that Mukti is Sarupya Mukti. So the point is that Krishna is so merciful that while that tailor was living in this material world, till that time also his life was comfortable, and after he left, he got Sarupya Mukti. On the way, this was the tailor. Okay, now he came and he met a florist. A florist was was the one actually by the name of Sudama, not the tailor. The florist was Sudama. So this florist was the one who, now what happened? While wandering around, they reached the house of this florist. He greeted them very well. He was so happy. Who wouldn't fall in love with Krishna and Balram when they see him, right? So unless somebody is as demoniac as the washerman because of the bad association he had, but everybody else, they were totally drawn to their beauty. So this florist Sudama, he also greeted them very well. He offered them flowers, betel nuts, and the pulp of chandan, and all that he had to offer. And the Lord was very pleased by his glorification. And then he offered them both wonderful, beautiful garlands. And when the Lord asked this florist that what benediction do you want, the florist asked him to remain. The florist asked the Lord that that means the florist, may I remain your eternal servant in devotional service and and also not only serve you, but may I also serve others. May I do good for others. So the lesson we learn from here is that a devotee is para dukha dukhi and para sukha sukhi. He wants others to be as blissful as he is because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So now, if that is why all of you here who are listening to this series of classes that you're attending every single day, probably, the whole purpose behind is not only for you to gain knowledge, but to spread it further. Because if this gives you pleasure, then you're supposed to spread this to other people also, because by spreading it multiplies. The happiness multiplies by spreading. So you need to spread it out to other people. The whole point is for you to become preachers someday in future. So this is the lesson that we learned, that how humble this florist was. He was not only happy that the Lord was giving him darshan and giving him benediction, but in benediction he asked that may I be able to serve others also, do good to others also. So that is the qualification of a devotee. A devotee is para dukha dukhi, when he's sad, when he sees other people sad, and para sukha sukhi, he is happy when he sees others happy. And how can you make others happy? The best gift you can give is the gift of Krishna consciousness. Okay. Now, when they left the place of this florist, then they met this hunchbacked woman who was carrying a dish of sandalwood pulp and on the streets of Mathura. And when they asked her who was it for, and would she give it to Krishna and Balram, she was so captivated by their beauty that she said yes, even though it is for Kamsa, and but she was more than willing to give it to Krishna and Balram. In fact, she smeared the sandalwood on their bodies, and Krishna and Balram became very pleased with her service. She was a maid servant of Kamsa, whose service for her master was to make this aromatic sandalwood pulp and give it for his use, for his service. But when the lordship asked, she more than willingly gave it to them. And this act of surrender was so pleasing to the Lord that Lord wanted to award her. How did he reward the hunchback woman? He placed his foot on her toe and put his hand under her chin, and he just stretched her, and she, from a hunchback woman, she became the most beautiful straight, for earlier she was hunchback, but now she became straight and very beautiful. Why she became beautiful? Because she was touched by the Lord. The Lord just put his hand under her chin and his foot on his toe on her foot, so that she can stand straight, and just pulled her up. And she became extremely beautiful. Why? Because anything or anyone who comes in touch with Krishna will become beautiful, because this is how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. Who is Krishna? What does the word Krishna mean? The word Krishna means the all attractive one. So anybody who comes in contact with Sri Krishna will automatically become attractive, right? Now, she became very beautiful. Now, Krishna was very happy. Now, Krishna was very attracted by the service that she rendered, not by her external beauty. Krishna is Swam Bhagwan. What does the word Bhagwan mean? So, I don't know if you know Hindi, but in Hindi, there's a word like Dhanvan, Van means possessor, and Dhan means money. So, one who's possessor of lot of wealth is Dhanvan. Similarly, Bhagwan. Bhagwan, again, Van means possessor. Bhag means the 6 opulences. So one who is full in 6 opulences is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what are those 6 opulences? Does anybody know? Can anybody give me one, at least one each? If you give me, that'll be nice. Do you know? What are the 6 opulences?
Mataji, like I don't know all 6, but I know beauty, fame, wealth,
Very good. Knowledge,
knowledge,
strength,
strength,
and renunciation.
and renunciation.
So now beauty, as you said, is one of the opulences which the Lord is which the Lord possesses, right? In full. So why will he be attracted by beauty of this hunchback woman called Kubja, by the name of Kubja? So he was not attracted by the beauty of Kubja. He was attracted by her surrender, by her mode of service. So Krishna was very much attracted by her service, and that made her all the more beautiful. So basically, there is no qualification which is required to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Doing devotional service itself is the best qualification. So then when she was from hunchback, when she became a young, straight, beautiful woman, she was very, very happy, and she wanted to render some more service to the Lord, and she invited the Lord to her house. But the Lord said that he will come to her house, but then after he was done with the purpose he had come for, right? So then from there, he moved on. Where now there was this place where this Dhanur Yagya was going on. Now what was that? Kamsa had basically arranged for a sacrifice where he placed a big bow near sacrificial altar, and Krishna, he went up to it and he literally broke it, despite he was being warned not to go near the altar. So he was warned by the people of Mathura, residents there, who were servants of Kamsa, not to go near the altar. But Krishna didn't care much. He went up to the altar. He not only went near the altar, he picked up the bow and he broke it. Now Kamsa was not present there, but the news spread, and Kamsa figured out, he heard what had happened, because there was this loud applaud from the people also. Here, people were being happy that, wow, Krishna did that. And when Kamsa heard, he got really scared. He got scared because now he understood that Krishna has come, the death personified for Kamsa, and he feared for his life. Now he started yelling that, arrest this boy, kill him, like that. Now people, then obviously his men, he sent his men to arrest Krishna, but they were killed by Krishna and Balram. And then they went further as if nothing happened, and they went down the city again. And after this sightseeing, they came back to the camp where they were staying, and they took rest for the night there. Okay, still, this is not the day when Kamsa was being killed. Now that this day, they were just exploring the entire city. So Kamsa, now on the other hand, he became extremely fearful. He became so restless all night. He could not sleep. All he was having was inauspicious visions in front of him. And he could understand at that time, he was able to understand this, that Krishna and Balram have come there for his death. So now what happened? The next day was the wrestling match. Okay. Now, next day again, when they woke up, they took care of their morning duties and everything. Now they went in the wrestling match. Now, in the wrestling match, there was this wonderful big arena which was decorated with flags, festoons, and flowers. And there was, you could hear the kettle drums, you could hear the conch shells being blown, and Kamsa, he came there in the arena, but he was very fearful. It's natural because he knew that his death is there. So when death comes, it doesn't care for anyone's exalted position. Not that Kamsa is the king, so the death will say that I'm not going to kill Kamsa. No, that's not how it works. So very famous wrestlers were there: Chanura, Mushtika, Shala, Kuta, Toshal, all these were there. Now, when Krishna Balram, they reached the arena gate, they saw that there was a big, huge elephant right at the gate by the name of Kuvalyapida. Now, Kuvalyapida was a wild elephant who was sent by Kamsa to attack Krishna and Balram. He was trying now every means, whatever it took, to make sure that it was the end of Krishna and Balram. But can anybody end Krishna and Balram? No, Krishna and Balram were there to end Kamsa's sinful way of life. So now Krishna, he understood that the caretaker of Kuvalyapida, he was blocking his way. And so Krishna said that if you block my way, I shall send you and your elephant to the house of death personified. So the caretaker, now he got really angry and he provoked his elephant to attack Krishna with his trunk. Now Krishna, he basically, what did Krishna do? He hid himself between the legs of the this Kuvalyapida, the elephant. Now, how would Kuvalyapida be able to, how the elephant, it was not possible for the elephant to catch hold of Krishna when he was standing in between the hind legs of the elephant himself. So now Krishna held him by his tail and he dragged him 25 yards. Just as Garuda, the king of the birds, he drags an insignificant snake from right to left. And so, okay, so this side, from that side to this side, and like that, this elephant was killed. Now they entered the arena. So Kamsa, for Kamsa, Krishna and Balram appear as death personified. Now he was really scared. So now who he sent? Now he sent Chanura and Mushtika. So Chanura said to Krishna and Balram that we have heard a lot of your past activities and you are great heroes. So the king has called you to fight and wrestle with me, and your elder brother will wrestle Mushtika. This is Chanura talking. So Chanura is telling Krishna that you will wrestle me and Mushtika is going to wrestle Lord Balram. Now the match began, and obviously Krishna and Balram, nobody's as strong as them. So in the end, both wrestlers who were strongest and as solid as stone, they were killed by these two brothers. Then there were other wrestlers also. Kuta, Shala, Toshala. Kuta was killed by Balram, Shala was killed by Krishna, and Toshal was also killed by Krishna in the same way. So then the trumpets were played, drums were being beaten, everybody was praising Krishna and Balram ecstatically. Then came Kamsa. Now Kamsa ordered to stop all this, and he spoke angrily to the sons of Vasudev. And he said, these two sons, these two boys, they need to be driven out of Mathura immediately. These cowherd men also should be plundered and their riches should be taken away. Nand Baba should be arrested and killed for his cunning behavior, and Vasudeva and Ugrasen be killed too. He was talking all this out of fear. So, hearing this, the Lord got really angry, and he got on the dais and he caught hold of him with great force. He threw him down, and simply by the strokes of Krishna's fist, Kamsa lost his vital force. So, even though Kamsa was he was a demoniac personality, but he still attained the Sarupya Mukti. Krishna, now Kamsa, he had 8 other brothers who were headed by Kanak, and they all rushed towards Krishna to kill him. And Krishna basically killed all of them. Now he met his parents, he met Vasudeva and Devaki, both Krishna and Balram cried a lot. And because Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, they were feeling the bliss as well as they were thinking about what all they had to go through, the separation from their children when they were little. So Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba were extremely fortunate because they were able to witness the childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balram. Whereas here, Krishna and Balram were now much older and they could not relish those pastimes. So they were regretting all this, and they had a very emotional meeting with their parents. And then their parents decided, so they started living there. Now Nanda Baba was sent back to Vrindavan. Krishna assured him that he will come back soon. Okay. Now, this is one of the reasons why Krishna did not go back to, why he could not go back to Vrindavan. We'll come to that later. But yeah, so Krishna, now they started living in Mathura with Vasudeva and Devaki. The cowherd boys went back. Nanda Baba went back, very disappointed and sad, but with the hope that Krishna had promised that he is going to come back. So with that hope, they went back. Now, because they were living in Mathura with their parents, as any normal parents would do, they were worried about their education. So they sent them to the ashram of Sandipani Muni in Ujjain. Sandipani Muni, at that time, Ujjain was known as Avantipura. So there, Krishna and Balram, they learned 64 arts in 64 days and nights just by hearing once from Sandipani Muni. So now, after finishing their education in the form of Guru Dakshina, they asked what is it that they could offer to their Guru. Now their Guru, both Guru and Guru Patni, they had seen the amazing power of Krishna and Balram, and so they thought for a while, and they had recently lost their son in the ocean at Prabhas Kshetra, and so they thought that we should ask them to get our son back, and that's exactly what they did. As Guru Dakshina, Krishna and Balram decided to get the son back. So they went to the ocean, they asked the ocean personified to return the son of their teacher. The ocean personified said that the child is not with me. There is a demon who lives deep down in my waters by the name of Panchajana, and he has taken the boy away. Now, Krishna and Balram, when they heard that, they dived deep into the water and they killed the demon. And even when they ripped apart his belly, they could not find the child there. So from there, they went to Yamlok, where Yamraj heard that Krishna and Balram were there. And so they came forward and they gave their son, he gave the son back to them. Now they returned their son to the teacher, who was very grateful, and then asked them to leave for their house. So they gave them the blessing that whatever you speak. Now, this is the blessing that was given to Sandipani, was given by Sandipani Muni to Krishna Balram. Though he said that you don't need any blessing from me, but just out of duty and for my satisfaction, I am giving you this, that may you remain, whatever instructions you give in the way, from Vedas, may those instructions remain as fresh. And this benediction, out of this benediction, just to live up to this benediction, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. So what was the benediction? That whatever you will speak will remain fresh as instructions of Vedas. Okay, so whatever you speak will remain as fresh as instructions of Vedas. So what did Krishna speak? Bhagavad Gita. So it is ever increasingly fresh and is renowned not only in this universe, but in other universes also. Now they return to Mathura, and now after this episode, they returned to Mathura, and they were very well received by the people. People were very joyful to have them back, as if, it was just as them regaining their lost property. Now, it so happened while living in Mathura, one day Uddhav came to visit them. Uddhav was Nand Baba's brother's son. So he happens to be cousin of Krishna. And not Nand Baba, sorry, Vasudev. So now Nand Baba had returned to Vrindavan without Krishna, and all the Vrajavasis were very sad and miserable. But Krishna had promised while leaving for Mathura that he will come back, right? Now he seemed to, but so it's been long. He even went to Avantipura. He finished his education. He hasn't gone back yet. So to the people of Vrindavan, he appears to be a cheater, a breaker of promise. They were very, very sad. But the acharyas explained this, that he was neither a cheater nor a breaker of promise. He was actually, Krishna and Balram actually came back with Nand Baba, but as bhav expansion. Okay. And Mathura they remained there as Vasudeva and Sankarshan. Now it so happened that Jarasandha and Dantavakra, who were related to Kamsas and were his friends, they actually were very upset because Kamsa had been killed. So Krishna and Balram were fearful that if they go to Vrindavan, then Dantavakra and Jarasandha might attack Vrindavan, and the innocent Vrajavasis will be in trouble. So that is one of the reasons they chose to stay back and not to go back to Vrindavan. One of the reasons was this. And Vrajavasis were always absorbed in the Leela Smaran, thinking about the pastimes of Krishna. So when Uddhav came, he is a cousin of Krishna. One day when he came to see Krishna and Balram in Mathura from Dwaraka, he was son of Vasudev's brother, as we discussed, and almost he was same age as Krishna. Now Krishna wanted to send him to Vrindavan with a message to pacify the deep feelings of separation of the residents of Vrindavan. Now this was a special favor to Uddhav because he was he was actually a direct disciple of Brahaspati. But still, irrespective of that, the highest level of devotion is that of gopis, and there is a lot to learn from gopis. So these gopis and other Vrajavasis were the ones who actually taught Uddhav that academic knowledge was not sufficient enough. He had knowledge that Krishna is the supreme and everything, but the bhav that the gopis carried, nobody else did. So that degree of love only the Brajvasis had, which he learned from the Brajvasis and the gopis. And he was actually sent to pacify the gopis, but he came back with this message that there is no other devotee who has that kind of love greater than the gopis. Now, okay, so then this happened, and he came back, and he from Vrindavan, he narrated everything to Krishna and Balram. So Krishna was sad because obviously the Vrajvasis were sad, so he was sad. But okay, time was passing by. Then came the time when one day Krishna thought that he will go back to Kubja's house because Kubja wanted to welcome Krishna as he had promised. He fulfilled the promise, and later, after meeting Kubja, he also went to Akrura's house just to fulfill his promise to Akrura also. There Akrura welcomed him. Now Krishna asked Akrura to go to Hastinapur because he had heard in Hastinapur about the loss of the life of Pandu Maharaj and how the Pandavas and Kunti Maharani were all by themselves, and how he wanted to make an assessment of how Dhritarashtra was treating them. So he asked Akrura to go and check on the Pandavas and see how they are being treated by Dhritarashtra and what his intentions were. So this is the end of Mathura Leela. From now, he is going to move to Dwarka. So we will discuss Dwarka Leela next Wednesday. Okay? Anybody has any questions? Any comments?
I like reading the story.
Which
Reading the
story? Which story you like to read?
The one that we just did.
Oh, very nice. You liked it? You enjoyed it?
Yes.
Great. So next Wednesday, I'll see you again?
Yes.
Very nice. So do remember to memorize the verse. I will send it, okay? All right. So anybody has anything to say? No? Okay. So I'll take your leave and then I'll see you next Wednesday. All right? All right. Thank you so
Bye.
much. And I am going to see you.
Bye, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank
Sure.
you. Hare Krishna.
Bye.
Hari Hari. Shila Prabhupada.